Hey everyone. So for this week's discussion board on Title IX and the relevancy of it, I believe that probably like many of you, Title IX has been a very good thing for the world of sports, and in my opinion, I believe it's been monumental because not only has it allowed for an increase in participation of females in athletics, but it's allowed many of them to succeed, and it's really taken them off in their careers in sports, such as many of the top female athletes we have today. Like I said in the video, if it wasn't for Title IX, they probably wouldn't be where they are today, and probably wouldn't have as many people looking up to them as they do. Now, with that being said, if I don't wouldn't say I don't believe it's Title IX is necessarily outdated, but what I would say is that there's a part of it that needs to be looked at and adjusted. So the three parts of Title IX are the equality in the facilities um, and equipment, and I believe that's relevant and should remain the same. Also, the effective accommodation of the interest of all sexes, I believe that's also relevant and should remain the same. But the thing I think that needs to be looked at and possibly adjusted is the proportionality part. Now, the way it's written is that the number or like the percentage of athletes at a college school or at a school in a collegiate athletic department needs to be the same or similar, very similar to the percentage of males and females at that school. So say there was like 55% males and 45% females at a certain school, then that athletic department or the athletics should be made up of um, 55% male athletes and 45% female athletes. Um, Now, because of that, there have been instances where um, there have been certain schools that have cut certain men's teams in order like to meet that sort of quota. I know one example was Marquette University. They cut their men's wrestling team in order to comply with Title IX, and I know it left many wrestlers on that team, or they were on scholarship. It hurt them, and they weren't able to play the sport. And I know there's been a few other cases where schools have added or schools have added rowing teams for females, which really in a few of or in quite a bit of those cases like that those females didn't need any sort of experience in rowing, and they could just kind of try out and make the team. And I know another school that had to cut its sport was Northern Iowa. They cut their baseball program because um, it was their athletic director said it was simply to comply with Title IX. Now, in many of these cases, it's a lot of like the minor sports because obviously with a football and basketball at many schools, it's the top revenue generator and it's more popular compared to certain other sports. So obviously they wouldn't cut those sort of programs, and also it also has to do with like finances and um, how much money they want to put towards certain sports, which obviously would make more sense to put more money towards football and basketball. Um, and I know with Title IX or here at Ball State, there's more females. There's a higher percentage of females um, compared to males with the student population. So therefore, there's more female sports and female athletes at Ball State compared to male athletes. And I know it's part of it. It's part of why we don't have like a male men's soccer team or like men's track and field. But but I also want to say along with all this, since Title IX is implemented, many there's been definitely an increase in female participation, and not only that, but also male participation. And there have been many more teams added than teams that have been cut. So overall, I believe Title IX has been a very good thing for the world of sports, um, and that included. But I just believe that because of the instances of many of these men's teams getting cut because of the certain quotas, that's why I believe this needs to be looked at and possibly adjusted. Thanks for watching.